Hey folks, Hilary DeFreitas here, the Marketing Mom. Today I want to share with you 3 productivity tips that were shared with me actually. You know, we have this thing where they're not new, but when you hear them at different times in your life, it makes a big difference about the impact that it has. And I was on this webinar recently and they shared 7 productivity tips actually. I'm only going to share 3 with you today. But these are the ones that resonated with me because where I am right now at the filming of this video, I'm 7 months pregnant and very much into the heart of my business and working almost every day. And being in the 3rd trimester, just normally you're drained of energy. So this is something that I took to heart, and these 3 tips really resonated with me. So I'm going to share them with you and hope they inspire you to maybe start to change how you do things a little bit in your own business. All right, so the first one that really resonated with me is, which was actually very oxymoronish because you're trying to get a million things done, is the concept of focusing on one thing. Now, focusing on one thing, you're thinking to yourself, okay, but I have a million things to do. Why can't I multitask? I have 3 monitors. I could do one thing here and then do another thing there and do another thing there. What happens is, in your time, if you've ever done it, because I've done it and done it both multitasking and also single focus, and the reality is it takes you less time to do a task if you focus on one thing than if you try to spread out different tasks. And I've done it because I have the ability to do different things. I've got one monitor there, one here, one there. So it's really easy for me to split work up visually, but your brain can't necessarily do that very quickly. Easier for you to focus on one thing at a time. So if you are blogging for 30 minutes, be blogging for 30 minutes. Be writing. All right? Don't try and send an email while you're blogging. Even though the content and the ideas may be the same or similar, focus on the blogging. All right? What I used to do, because exactly that example, I would be blogging about a topic and I want to send an email about that same topic. So I will try to write the email and write the blog at the same time. What ended up happening is that my 30 minutes that I would normally take to write a blog turned out to be an hour and a half because I was trying to do 2 things at the same time. So that's the first tip. Focus on one thing only. So my second tip for you today is creating batches. I've talked about this before many times because I'm an engineer. That's just how I think. I am not going to sit down one day and say, okay, on my to-do list, I have to create one video. Videos take maybe 5 minutes to create, but it's all the other back stuff that you need to do. All right. So maybe on a day like, today, you could sit down and write 4 blog posts if you are in a writing mood. That's almost a chapter of a book if you think about it. I don't know. Depends on how long your blog posts are. All right. But don't just do one thing if you are capable of doing more at the same time, especially when it comes to very short tasks. Okay, when it comes to scheduling social media posts, don't just schedule for the next hour. Schedule for the week, schedule for the month if you can. It's not going to take you that much more time, right? If you have all your things already laid out and you have your systems in place. And by the way, if you want to learn about some of those systems, just follow the link that's coming up at the bottom of the screen there. All right. But these are ways for you to manage your time better in business, especially if you're doing it part-time. Even if you are doing your business full-time like I am, but full-time is still part-time because we still have children to raise, houses to take care of, manage, etc. Right? So anything that we really do in life it's effectively part-time. Okay, so you have to manage that time that you have, that part-time that you have, in order to be effective in your business. And the third tip, which I found, this struck me because when I first heard it, I said to myself, oh gosh, another cleaning task to do. And it's not really cleaning. Decluttering. Decluttering is very important, and whether you do it daily, weekly, or monthly, decluttering is important. And I'm not talking about decluttering the messy desk that you're probably sitting on right now. Or I'm not talking about decluttering your bedroom or your closet. I'm talking about decluttering your mind. All right, there's power in writing things down. There's power in grabbing pen and paper and just getting everything out. Because as a mom, you have grocery lists. You have to think about the pampers that are running out. You're thinking about, okay, the end of the month is coming up and I need to restock on certain items. As those things come up, you must have a place where you can write them down and get them out of this thing called your brain, so that you're able to put more in. The more you fill up your brain with things that don't need to be there, or things that could be on a piece of paper, for example, all right, grocery list. I have my grocery list in my phone now, so I don't ever put those things in my mind. For the month, I create a ongoing grocery list for the month. So as I see something that I know I'm going to have to buy, I go and I type it into my phone. Done. I don't have to remember it again. It's off my brain. All right. And that is what we mean by decluttering. Okay. Because it's amazing how many things we store up in here that don't need to be there. All right. You have an idea, write it down. Journaling is a great way to do daily decluttering. You could have a little section for your journal, decluttering, things that need to get done. And then later on, you could always come back, but it's out of your brain and it's somewhere that you could access. All right. So those are my 3 productivity tips that I want to share with you today. Naturally, you've probably heard them all before, but you know, they resonate with people at different times. Decluttering the mind, focusing on one thing, all right, and creating in batches, right? Creating in batches to me is probably my favorite, because I used to do that even when I was working. I used to create my lunches in batches. I would cook on Sunday and just put everything out for the week. And it's the same thing when my first daughter was born. When she was ready to get onto food and formula, we created her bottles in batches. We put them out so that there was limited things that needed to be done. It saves a lot of time and it saves a lot of energy. And then focusing on one task at a time. Definitely one of the biggest takeaways that you need to take away today. Focusing on that one task at a time. So if you've enjoyed any of these tips, or you feel that, you know, new spin, you're hearing it, but you're hearing it differently for the umpteenth time, don't worry about that. Every day is a new day, and we receive information differently in every moment of our life. So share these with your friends, family, your business employees, business workers, partners, whoever. Share it and have a productive day. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Bye for now. This has been Hillary, the Marketing Mom.